Hello, everyone. We are live, and today is Thursday. And you know what Thursday is? Thursday is interview day. I have a very, very special guest today. And before I introduce you to my guest, I would like to just ask you to tell me if you're watching us, if you're participating with us. Tell us where you're coming from. I love to know where people are coming from. As you know, I am in Mexico. My guest today is in the United States, and we will ask her exactly where. Also, would you take a look above the video or maybe below? There's a stripe or a strip, as they call it, and it says StreamYard. If you click on StreamYard, it will, you're given permission to StreamYard to use your name. And that way we know who is interacting with us because we love the interaction in these interviews. Feel free to ask me or my guests any questions. And because this is pre-recorded, we will be able to get back to you after the recording. But feel free to put your questions in, and my guest or I will get back to you with your answers. Okay, so like always, I met my guest online, and actually, my guest is a member of the Launch Lab Premium program, which that we have for people who want to start their business and launch their business online. So, without further ado, meet my guest. Okay, hi, Kristia. How are you?
Lucy. Nice to see you today, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, Kristia, I know that you happen to be in your car because, and we can see that, and we're going to talk about because you're visiting your dad who just had surgery, and so you needed some privacy, and so there, so we're better to go, but your car. So, so thank you for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, Kristia, before you joined the Launch Lab, could you talk to us a little bit about your journey? Um, you know, um, exactly what you were doing before you joined us in the Launch Lab?
Yes, ma'am. I was a school teacher, and then I went ahead and decided to homeschool my son. And through homeschooling, I noticed that there are a lot of families
Mhm.
who have neurodiverse children who don't learn the same. So
Mhm.
I've taken my training and my experiences and joined them together to develop an online program to put in all the tips and tricks that I've learned that have helped my children and other students, and was in the process of doing this as I found Launch Lab.
Oh, wonderful. So your personal story is that you were teaching your own children homeschooling, right? Is that what inspired you?
Well,
To be dedicated to supporting this neurodiverse community.
well, it was my own daughter. I was actually in training with a public school system, and they had sent me to a training before I even heard about dyslexia. And
Okay.
through that training, I realized my daughter, who was in fifth grade at the time, was dyslexic. And from that
Oh,
training and other attending trainings, I've realized more and more of how prominent dyslexia is in the community and just other neurodiverse learning differences that we have.
right. Can you tell me how do sensory-based learning approaches differ from maybe the traditional teaching methods, and what specific benefits do they offer to your the neurodiverse individuals that you deal with?
Right. Well, we know the traditional teaching methods, you're sitting in a classroom and you're either going to be visual or auditory. A lot of it's auditory based. And with the neurodiversity, using all our senses, we are able to incorporate either movement, sounds, smells. And the more senses and pathways we can get into our brain, the better we're able to obtain the material and learn it. There's a saying, and I forgot who says it, but the neurons that wire together fire together.
Fire
So the more
together, yeah,
pathways you can learning the
right.
materials, the more the easier it is for the child to obtain the concept.
Right. And I think a lot of us don't understand how prominent this dyslexia problem is. I mean, I'm even thinking when I'm listening to you, and there's another gentleman also in our group that deals with dyslexia, that I'm thinking, I think I was dyslexic in school, and nobody ever, of course, this was the 50s, no, but I don't think they even had the word by then. Right?
That correct. And when I was in training, when I get my teaching license training, it wasn't prominent, and it's finally coming around. But they've studies to show that 1 in 5 of us have
Wow.
some form of
Right. So could you tell me what unique insights do you bring to your work as a result of your personal experiences, certainly with your daughter, with dyslexia, ADHD, and dysgraphia? Did I say that word properly?
Yes. Well, personally, having dyslexia growing up and not, like you said, no one really knowing about it, I
Right.
myself had to find my own strategies to overcome difficulties that I had. And then with the training and then the experience I had with my own children, I'm able to see a different perspective of the child and relate to the child more and give them
Right.
tips and strategies that I have used, as long as helping the parents to understand the difficulties, and it helps them obtain more patience with their child.
Right, because it would take a lot of patience. Didn't you just recently have a situation with your dad who something about writing or something? There was a little story. Can you tell that story? I thought that was fascinating.
Yes, he was having to fill out his paperwork, and I guess dysgraphia is also genetics based, and it's difficulty in forming the letters and writing the letters. And he was filling out his hospital paperwork, and he was saying that, man, I write like a first grader. And then he was telling me the reason he did that was in school that he didn't know how to spell the words, so he would just kind of scribble something down. But it's interesting how genetically it carries over.
It carries over. So is that what, can you explain? I've never seen that word dysgraphia. Could you explain? I mean, dyslexia is one thing. Could you tell us the difference between those two words for one thing? Mm-hmm.
The suffix dys means like not, the inability to do something. So
Right.
graphia has, you're graphing your letters. So it's the inability of forming the letters. The same thing with dyslexia. The lexic is the words. And
but it could be
this is,
numbers too, right? It could be numbers.
Calculate. Just calculate.
Because I tend to, what do you call that when you switch over the numbers? Right. Whatever that word is. So, is that another symptom of dyslexia?
Yeah, and there's different forms and symptoms of it, and degrees. And with the numbers, when people struggle more with the numbers, it's called dyscalculia.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is a whole new vocabulary. So do you deal with all those types of people also? You know what to do with that also?
It's pretty much, we're reprogramming the brain. We're teaching them how to reprogram the brain. And it's through repetition and pattern recognition and self-awareness. A lot of it has to do with our metacognition and being self-aware of what it is. One, to know what the struggle is. And the second is to be aware that you're struggling.
Yeah, exactly. It. And so often children don't recognize it. They're not even aware. And even the parents aren't aware because it happens at school. Maybe a teacher's, I was a teacher for 35 years. We were never taught anything like that. Or we didn't even know what to look out for. And, we just thought maybe some children were slower than others. I mean, how awful for us to think that,
right.
But, we didn't know any better,
Right.
So
we had the big that learn to read automatically. Like, we learn to speak. And it has to be specifically taught.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you tell us about a particular, maybe a memorable success story where your interventions really made a difference in a child's reading journey?
I'll give it an example of a little girl that came to me. She's been with me about 3 years now, and then
Mm-hmm.
she was first, second grade, and she wasn't able to barely form the letters, more or less write any words. And her teacher had told her that she didn't even know why she was in second grade, that she needed to go back to first grade, and that
Ooh,
crushed her self-esteem. You could just see when she came in, she was just so
okay.
depressed. It's only
Yeah.
grade, and they know with dyslexia, we know that we have the skills. We just don't know why we're not getting like everyone else.
Right.
And when she was able to realize, hey, she's not dumb, she just wasn't taught the way
Right.
she learns, and the knowledge that the gaps that she was missing. And when she had those gaps, this year she was playing chess, she joined
Oh, wow.
choir. The change in her self-confidence was different. It's
Oh, my
just
God.
amazing how it changes it. And we got to think, when we're young and we have those feelings crushed, they stay with us through life. We can
They
be
do.
adults with that same story. So the more that we can help them and build their self-confidence and let them know it's okay and that they learn different, we'll change the world
Well,
by
this
the
is
people.
so, it's so important, the work that you do. I mean, I am, as I'm listening to you talk about this and spell it out for me, I'm thinking, oh my God, how many lives you are going to impact is like mind-boggling to me, really.
That's
I
because
I
our,
really thank you
our,
for that.
our learning, and especially a child's learning, that's their job. That's their everyday life. And if they feel like a failure in that, they're going to feel like a failure in life. So if we can get them young and help them with that, it's going to change a lot in our future.
Well, okay, I want to take it another kind of direction. I know that you're a member of the Launch Lab Premium program. What made you decide to join that program, and how do you see that program aligning with your goals and your aspirations?
Well, joining it with Mike, I first met Mike in a mastermind community, and he was able to break down the material into a structure that was able to it made sense, and he's able to help you put the pieces together
Hmm.
and do it in an organized way to help you progress. Because if you do it on your own, you're kind of lost.
Right,
You're here and there, and he's able to put it in a way where it is a logical step-by-step sequence. And then along with the uh, the accountability partners he has, and then along with the question and answers he has on a daily basis,
right.
it helps keep up the momentum.
Right. I just want to explain to my audience that Mike is one of the team members, along with one of the coaches, along with Athena, Aiden, and of course myself. The four of us are part of the team that makes up the Launch Lab Academy, and of course we all have our specialty. And Kristia happened to meet Mike in a mastermind program, and through some talk she realized that our program could help her actually build your own program, right?
Right,
Right.
correct. The steps
Could
and
you,
steps, and how to get it out there, and how to communicate with the others and things.
yeah, could you be a little more specific about the ways that the Launch Lab Premium program itself contributed to your overall growth and your readiness to launch your business organically on Facebook?
I really enjoy the accountability partner aspect of
Okay.
it, of and the scheduling. It helped me stay organized. Being
Hmm.
neurodiverse, we have trouble with organizational skills,
Right.
and just the fact that having someone there and someone to stay on top of you, it was very beneficial.
Right. And what about the daily Q's and A's where the coaches are made, oops, I lost my guess. And it could be a techie issue. There, you're back, Christy. There's some kind of noise with the microphone, so I don't know if
I've seen
if
that too.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have? Let me see
I get
what
there.
the
I'm on my
settings.
phone.
You're on your phone? That's why. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, let's just continue. Okay, so could you, as an entrepreneur, can you share some insights or lessons learned from your journey in this neurodiverse community?
Organization skills are key, and time
Mm-hmm.
management, and figuring out everyone's time management won't work for you. You have to figure out your own time
Right.
management. So take the time, figure out the ways you work best. Don't don't put too much pressure on yourself, and remember, you got to trust the process. And as you come along, you'll learn. And
Absolutely.
something else, journaling is important, even if it's just a notebook. Like mine is just a one subject notebook I take every month, and I write down the day on the top and what I work on that day, and able to even go back to it to see. And it's great to see your progress. It's almost like the same feeling of having the checklists that you check off.
Yes. Mhm.
Going to see the progress of where you've come, and within even a month, it's very helps you keep that
Noticeable.
momentum.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, actually. Do you share that with your team leaders? Because I know that you're part of a team and you have a leader there, and then we have the accountability program, and then of course you have your accountability partner. Have you shared this very useful tip with them about journaling?
You know, sure if I have or not. I might have mentioned it. I know I use it with my students as
Mhm.
I'm very important for them to write of what they're learning and things, because that's a pathway to learn.
Right. And I mentioned
And
that
so
because
that'd be a good point to share.
I think so, because I mentioned it because so very often when we're on in a program and when we're getting ready to launch, we think, oh my God, I haven't done enough. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. But journaling like that on a daily basis, you can see your little wins, and we forget to tap ourselves on the back for those daily wins. If you got one thing done in one day, one little step, because you can only take one step at a time. And
Yes, ma'am.
this journaling really helps you see that you did take that one step. So that's a great tip. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm going to use it. May I? I think that's a great tip. So, have you launched your program yet? And if so, what does that mean? What does it mean to launch your program? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I have done a webinar. I haven't quite launched it yet. I'm hoping to launch it in the 1st of September, where we go from a webinar to a 3-day workshop. And then from what the skilled parents learn in the 3-day workshop, they'll have an opportunity to send their children to a group sessions
Oh,
to
great.
help, reinforce the skills.
Okay, so what steps are you currently taking to prepare for the launch? Can you hear me? Oops, we lost our
Oh
guest.
goodness!
We
I
have
think
we have a little techie issues here, and Kristia will be back with us in a minute. Let me touch the recording. See, okay. Are you back with us?
am I back? I see you.
No, I don't see you on my screen. Let me see if I can. Nope, you're still not. It's just a dark
Still,
screen. So do you want to go out and come back and see what
yeah.
happens? Okay. And folks, this is what happens when you go live. This is a pre-recording, and I could take this recording and slice it and make it look like it was seamlessly, no problem. But I won't do that because why? Because I want you to know that when you go live, these things happen. This is a technical issue. All right, and things like this are going to happen, and I want you to know that it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to splice this. I'm not going to do anything to this recording. I'm just going to leave it be as it is so you can see that when you do a recording like this, if you ever interview somebody and this happens, don't panic. Oh, she's gone again. There she is again. Okay,
I dropped my
Kristia.
phone. All right.
Okay.
We're back.
Okay.
But
Okay. So,
what's the question? The steps I'm taking.
yeah, the steps. Yeah, we were talking about the steps that you are taking. Yes. Hmm.
Well, through the Launch Lab Academy, the confidence building your camera confidence class was an important step on working on my confidence and my communication with others. In the background, I'm working on the curriculum of the videos I hope to have in conjunction with the workshops for the parents to watch in the conjunction, because there's so much to learn with learning to read and the way we learn. They need it to be,
Right.
extremely long workshops. So working on the videos in the background to formulate that. And then the question and answers are a great opportunity because you have a diverse amount of skills with Vlad, with Canva, Eden, Athena. Athena's really good at, keeping you on track.
Yes,
So
right. We call her the clarity queen.
So working on that and keeping the momentum that way of where the things that no one sees that you work on the background, they're there to help you, especially when you have questions.
Right. So that's been valuable, very valuable to you, right? The ability to touch one or two coaches a day has made a big difference to you in
Yeah, the coaches
mhm.
having the accountability partner
Yeah.
relationships. To maybe you just need a second opinion or a feedback to bounce something off of. It's great to have a variety of people, and it's so diverse with the Launch Lab community because you got people from all over the country, not just
Right.
the United States or Mexico. You have different locations, so it's very nice to see and have that feedback from all types of community members.
Global community, absolutely. Could you tell us how a Launch Lab, the premium program, supported you in kind of refining your business framework and preparing you to launch your program that you hope to do in September? You said, right?
Right. Well, the refining part, it's great. Like I said, the feedback really helps. When you're on your own, you not having that feedback, it's difficult because you can keep on reinventing the wheel. So having the reassurance of someone saying, "Hey, this is good. I haven't heard of this one before," or it helps give you
Right.
the confidence to go ahead and it's like, okay, this is good enough.
Right, exactly. And because, we do believe that imperfect is better than not at all, right? So we kind of urge you to take that step, that imperfect step. And now, what about the growth work? Has that helped you in any way to, to refine your framework and whatnot?
Yeah, the growth work will definitely help with your clarity and what your goals are and what you're reaching to, and like
Mhm.
finding your niche and who you're trying to help, and staying on top of that. I'm still working through some of the growth work as I go along. I think personal issues have impacted my my progress, but it's
Well,
the growth
you're
work
there with
helps
your dad. You're there with your dad because of his surgery, so you're not working your program at this point. So, but life happens, doesn't it? It just happens, and you just have to go with the flow, really, and not make yourself, not make yourself crazy because you can't do something, because family is important. So,
right. You have to trust the process and trust the timing and the way things happen.
right.
It doesn't
So,
happen in but we got to trust that timing.
right, exactly. What specific outcomes or accomplishments are you hoping to achieve by being a member of the Launch Lab Premium program? I mean, I think you're
Well,
coaching now one on one, but you're hoping to what are you hoping to
I'm hoping
accomplish?
to start once I have the videos and things together. I hope to have the workshops for the parents, and then the group coaching. I'm hoping to do a 3-day a week online group based on the children's abilities and skills, and do 6 to 9 week sessions ongoing on a certain subject matter material, whether we're going to be learning about the cycle of a butterfly or things that way, to teach the skills they need through interest-based learning.
Interest-based learning. Isn't that amazing? How do you envision the program evolving and growing in conjunction with the support and the resources provided by the Launch Lab?
Well, I would like to almost copycat Launch Lab's Premium Academy's approach, because of the way they provide support and the accountability. I envision this type of approach with my families, because the support involved is second to none. I mean, it's very beneficial. So I envision having this type of support with other.
Oh, we lost you again.
Teachers.
There you are. We lost you for a little bit there. You said with this type of support, you know, you envision this type of support. Yeah. Okay. So
I would like to have
so you would like to kind of model the program, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how, you know, a real important question: how do you approach helping parents understanding the reasons behind their child's reading difficulties, and what tools do you provide to them that effectively support the child's reading journey?
When it has to do with reading, there's a great podcast that's out right now. The lingua is called Soar with the Science of Reading. And the podcast is by Emily Hanford. It's called Sold a Story. And it really helps people understand the difficulty of what reading faces and the reasons why we're facing this literacy crisis that we have today. And, you know, it's really difficult to say how you approach a parent, because every parent is different, just like every child is different. And a lot of it has to do with to get them to build awareness, because it's not their fault if their child doesn't know nothing, or not nothing, but doesn't understand something, and it's not the child's fault. It's the system, the way we were taught for generations, and just awareness, you know, bringing awareness of what they, you know, you don't know. What is the saying? If you don't, what is it? Something, if you don't know.
If you don't know what you don't know.
What it is now.
You know, how are you going to move forward? So this is really interesting because so many parents, I mean, you're bringing the solution to this literacy. You call it a crisis. I mean, you know, it's gotten to that point where it is a crisis, isn't it? I mean, if 1 out of 5 people have either dyslexia or I forget what that other word is, but dysgraphia, I think it is. I mean, that is almost, you know, a crisis in our teaching model, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And in the United States, even students that are not identified as being dyslexic have a lot of the same symptoms and struggle with how reading works, with how our letters and our sounds work together.
And English is a complicated language. I'm a linguist. I taught foreign languages, and I used to tell people, they all spoke English. And I said, you know, think if you were Spanish, you were learning English. I mean, English is a really hard language to learn, as far as I'm concerned, compared to any of the other foreign languages, at least French and Spanish, which is what I taught. Do you agree with that?
Most definitely, because English, it's a melting pot of languages. You have the Anglo-Saxon words, you have the Greek-based, the Latin-based, and it's a lot. But a lot of the majority, and I wouldn't say majority, but it also can be taught through like pattern recognition. When you can teach them how to recognize the patterns and what's happening, it helps them to be able to graphically map those words into their brain. So when they're exposed to them, they're not really having to really decode them and stuff. It becomes automatic for them.
Right. You mentioned that you wanted to launch in September. So let's say it's September, you're launching. What do you hope to do after that? With, for example, are you going to stay with the Launch Lab program? How do you envision that the program helping you move beyond the launch?
Well, I believe the coaches are a valuable point because, like I said, it's always good to have a team. So it's almost like having a team without having an employee play.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
I enjoy having that support, and then the knowledge that's gaining from other workshops that they can attend. When they can transfer, it's great, or at least take out the important.
Exactly. Would you recommend Launch Lab Premium to other aspiring entrepreneurs in your field, in your neurodiverse community? And if so, why do you think this program is beneficial? And why choose Launch Lab over maybe other options?
At Launch Lab, I enjoy the smaller community, like I said, and the accountability partners. I know with other ones, you've got 100,000 plus people, so the smaller community is definitely beneficial, and just the way they had the platform and the schedule and the system it's a great if it's my learning style, if that helps.
Yeah, well, that helps a lot. Yeah. So what about automation? Because that's part of the premium program, right? Are you looking forward to, eventually automate your program?
Right. Like I said, the videos I'm working on the background, I'm hoping to be able to correlate all them and have the assistance of the team to place them on the platform to be able to share it with others.
So, Kristia, I know that you need to go back to take care of your dad. Down below in the tickler, I just have here how people can touch base with you, because I'm sure there are going to be questions that they have for you. Is this the best way for them to communicate? Go to your Facebook. It's facebook.com/Kristia.Akins, right? Is it Akins or Akins?
It's Akins. Actually, Akins.
Okay. So okay. So you see, she's teaching me. That's great, because it's very often we don't know if it's A or A. So, but in the United States, it would be Akins. Anywhere else, it might be Akins. Yeah. So could you tell me, is there any other way that people can contact you?
Yeah, if you can go to my Facebook page, you can also direct
message to you. Okay. Yeah, I think our internet.
Send me a private message.
Okay. Also, I just want. I'm sorry. What did you say? We can hear every third word because the connection is not very clear. So okay.
Yes, they can go to the page, and then on my banner, there's a link to my Facebook group.
Okay, perfect. And so for any of you who want to know what the Launch Lab program is all about, you can use this https:// Rosa-Stagi Lucy, that's my name, /Launch Lab Premium, and we can get you some information on the Launch Lab Premium program. So I just want to ask you one last question before I let you go, if I may. What advice would you have to the entrepreneur who, is so afraid to start their business, don't know where to start, don't know who to trust? What words, what advice would you give that person?
I would say find you a coach, and this is a great community where you don't only have one coaches, you've got a wider range of coaches and support. You need the support to continue on to take that next step.
Right. Exactly. Just take the next step, right? Just do it, right? Just get it done. And the good thing, Kristia, would you agree? You don't have to do it alone, right? You don't have to do it alone. And Kristia mentioned, you don't only have one coach, but you have several coaches with different strengths and a variety of help that you can get. So do not hesitate to contact us if you want to know more about the program. Kristia, I want to thank you very much for your time. I know your dad's probably looking for you right now. And I want to thank you for taking the time, for being here. And thank you. And I will put all that information in the comment below so people, if they didn't have the opportunity to write it down, I'll put it in the comment below so that they can reach out to you if they have any questions. And then that way you can get back to them with any answers. Is that good? And I just want to wish you a fabulous launch in September. Looking forward to that happening for you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
All right. And I want to thank my audience for being here. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.